The push for electrification has had many unintended consequences, most of which should have been foreseen but weren't. Things like additional loads on car park structures from the battery weight, grid capacity challenges to support fast charging, increased insurance premiums to name but a few. And like insurance, another factor which offsets the supposed savings in fuel is the staggering rate at which EVs chew through tyres. Once you've floored your Tesla a few times to show off to your neighbours, you'll quickly learn not to do it again in a hurry when you see how your tyres have been shredded. But worse than the cost to the EV owner is actually the significant cost to the environment from what's known as non-exhaust emissions, which are taking the shine off the clean image of the future EV utopia. Welcome back to MGUY, British engineer and lawyer turned Sydney YouTuber. Please be sure to like, share and subscribe, hit the notification bell and drop a comment down below. One thing that's so amusing is that so many EV articles are now appearing in publications which were previously focused on tech and gadgets, like Ars Technica, Engadget, TechCrunch. Just goes to prove my point really that EVs are disposable toys rather than enduring pieces of engineering. Gizmodo, another tech publication, explains, US EV buyers shocked to learn their cars eat tyres. EV buyers are often motivated by a desire to save money on gas and/or drive something more environmentally friendly. But a recent story out of Florida in the Miami Herald details how EV owners there have been blindsided by how fast they're having to change the tyres on their EVs. The Herald spoke with the owner of a shop that specialises in EV repair, who told them just how often he's seeing owners in for tyre wear and replacement. At EV Garage Miami, a Sweetwater repair shop that services 90% electric vehicles, lead technician Jonathan Sanchez said tyres are the most frequent thing customers come in about, no matter what model or make of EV they're driving. Tyre mileage can vary wildly, of course, but he frequently changes EV tyres at just 8 to 10,000 miles, a fourth or even fifth of a typical tyre wear on a gas-burning car. Neil Semmel, the owner of a Mercedes EQS, told the Herald that if he had known how often he'd be buying tyres, he would have never bought the car. If somebody looked at me and said, "Mr. Semmel, you're going to love this car, but in about 7,000 miles, you'll have to pay $1,400 or $1,500 to replace the tyres," I wouldn't have bought the car, he said. Well, if you can afford the EQS, which costs well north of $100,000 and around 200,000 Aussie dollars here, you shouldn't really be complaining about a few extra bucks for tyres, but still. The additional wear is due to the ridiculous and quite frankly unnecessary levels of torque available from electric motors, which gives the one-trick Tesla its party piece of insane acceleration. But also the fact that EVs are complete porkers. The battery can often add over 700 kilograms, that's over 1,500 pounds, to the weight of an EV compared to a regular gas car. This puts extra strain on the tyres, causing more wear. But the real problem is that this additional tyre material and associated brake pad material being shed by EVs is causing environmental headaches of its own. EVs are a climate solution with a pollution problem, tyre particles. The tiny fragments that tyres release into the environment are yet another reason to reduce car use. As gas-guzzling cars are replaced by their electric counterparts, tailpipe emissions are on the decline. But cars have other negative impacts on environmental health, beyond what comes out of their exhaust pipes. One of the bigger and lesser-known problems is tyre pollution, or tyre and road wear particles in industry terminology. Tyres shed tiny particles with every rotation. Tyre wear happens most dramatically during rapid acceleration, braking and sharp turns. But even with the most conservative driving, particulate pollution is an unavoidable consequence of car use. And it's a problem that's poised to get worse as drivers transition to EVs. We're pushing for decarbonisation by going to battery electric vehicles, and in doing so we're pushing up tyre wear emissions, which is going to prove difficult to solve, said Nick Malden, founder and CEO of Emissions Analytics, a London-based company that performs independent tests on cars' real-world tailpipe and tyre emissions. Malden pointed out that tailpipe exhaust is dramatically reduced by filters and catalytic converters, which use chemical reactions to reduce pollution. Meanwhile, tyres are a fundamentally open system, so there is no viable way to capture the polluting particles that fly off of them. Adding £1,000 to a mid-sized car increases tyre wear by about 20%, the research shows, And some of the chemical components in the rubber compound are extremely toxic to fish, such as salmon and rainbow trout, that have been dying off as a result. Given this article is from Grist, it's no surprise that their answer to this is get rid of cars altogether, and we should all follow the idea of the Netherlands and start biking everywhere. That's fine when your country is like a billiard table, but here in Sydney it's a different story, and e-bikes aren't exactly a safe solution either. So EVs giveth and EVs taketh away. They reduce tailpipe emissions, and that's only done by shifting them back to the coal or gas-fired power station in most cases, but they increase tyre and brake pad particulates as a result. There's no such thing as a free lunch, even in the Elysian fields of net zero. So that's it for this one. Thanks very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. Drop a comment down below and let me know what you think. If you've got any tips or stories, you can hit me up on Twitter, by email or on Instagram. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.